March 19th, 2026, City Council meeting.
Councilmember Dean.
Here.
Councilmember Howe.
Present.
Councilmember Hyman.
Here.
Councilmember Jackson.
Here.
Councilman Ward.
Here.
Vice Mayor Riffle.
Here.
Mayor Malpato.
Here.
This evening we have our prayer and pledge by our mayor.
Before we do the prayer and pledge, we're going to have a moment of silence for the young man, Landon Isaiah Jackson, that tragically lost his life the other evening, please. Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion and allow us to grow closer as a group and nurture the bonds of the community. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions and continue to remind us that all that we do here this evening and all that we accomplish is for the pursuit of truth, for the greater glory of your name, and for the service of humanity. We ask these things in your name. Amen. Amen. If you remove your hats, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This evening we have a special presentation by our mayor and Councilmember Howe.
With 14 teams competing, the Lady Eagles finished an impressive fifth place. Liza Sats, who won two individual events, the 50 freestyle and 100 breaststroke. With both victories being school records, Liza was named to the all-tournament team. The girls' relay teams finished fourth in the 400 freestyle relay and fifth in the 200 style relay. Let's do the coach, John. Crow.
Coach Christie, who you? Anthony DSL.
The boys were led by a strong group of upperclassmen who helped the Eagles win state titles in both the 200 and 400 freestyle relays. Senior Armando Montero also won the 100 butterfly and was named to the all-tournament team. The entire boys team contributed to the state title with a total of 12 podium finishes, as the team scored 119 points in the championship, with their next closest competitor scoring 77.
Armando Montero. Who is this guy?
Oh, let me have this. I'm going to deviate here for a second. Brandon Rock. Now, folks, I'm going to tell you a little story here. About 8 or 9 years ago, this little kid came up to me and he said, "Jim, I want to start wearing bow ties. I want to learn how to tie." Well, now I have to look up to you. Here's your next bow tie.
Lucas DSL. Noah Montero. Lady Blaine.
I'd like to make another little announcement here. This big guy right here just was accepted at Johns Hopkins Hospital with a full ride. For Johns
Ride the sauce. Charlie Chevron. Bethany Howe. Morgan Hawkins. And Gianna Wallace.
So we all need to scoot in here so we can get a group picture. Jensen, we need to. So everybody will like turn sideways. Congratulations, everybody.
Fun part's over. Yeah. They say that. You just keep up with that. Public hearing on the proposed budget for fiscal year 2026-2027. Notices regarding the public hearing appeared in the Exponent Telegram on March 4th and March 18th.
Anybody wishing to speak for or against may do so at this time. We will now close the public hearing.
Approval of the minutes of the regular session of March 5, 2026.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Approval of the minutes of the conference work session of March 9, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
We have no communications or petitions, no unfinished business, new business, consideration of approval of the budget for fiscal year 26-27 in the amount of $18,546,864 for the general fund, $71,000 for the coal severance tax fund, $276,000 for the police fine escrow fund, $2,143,141 for the excess property tax fund, $1,802,000 for the financial stabilization fund, $7,230,000 for the sales and use tax fund, and $1,762,750 for the Robinson Grant Performing Arts Center.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of first reading of an ordinance of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, authorizing and regulating cigar lounges, cigar bars, and smoking lounges, providing for HVAC ventilation standards, establishing licensing, permitting, inspection, and enforcement requirements, and related matters.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of first reading of an ordinance of the City of Clarksburg, West Virginia, amending Article 1767, the rental housing registration program.
So moved. Second.
Discussion.
Okay.
We didn't start down there. Did someone else call discussion?
I did, yeah. I was going to offer an amendment, and I'm going to move that we amend Section A of 167.07 fees and conditions, I guess subsection A, initial inspection fee. In the second sentence, I'd like to, I guess, strike that sentence and add the amendment of, if violations are found during an inspection, the property owner shall have 24 hours to correct life safety violations and 7 days to correct standard violations outside of the winter season. For violations identified during the winter season, the property owner shall be granted the time period specified in section 1767.10 to complete required repairs, after which the $150 compliance inspection fee shall be levied against the property owner.
I second Will's amendment.
I got a discussion on that. You said outside of the winter season?
Yeah, so there's an established winter season in the ordinance. So let's say they do an inspection in January and there's a a repair with the chimney. They don't have to do that repair until March 1st, and then they have 60 days to do that repair. So they wouldn't be levied that until after that time because it's a seasonal repair.
I think the goal of the amendment is to allow landlords and property owners to have a grace period before they're immediately given a $150 violation. They get 7 days to correct the issue instead of right off the bat. So
Yeah, no,
that's the
I
goal.
support it. I don't, or the goal is to get it right, not to get the money. So I support it. I was just questioning about the winter season. I still have a little more.
But I question that if an individual has 60 days notice before their inspection, is 7 more days going to make a difference to them? If they didn't do it in the 60-day period, are they going to do it in the 7-day period?
Well, I mean, in all fairness, considering, they may have something they didn't see and nobody saw, and then all of a sudden our code enforcement officer may see something that they didn't see. And, I think we're giving them the benefit of the doubt here and allowing them to, just be charged $20 for the initial inspection and not have to pay immediate $150 for the next one. So, I mean, I think that's the goal. That's my goal, at least, of the amendment.
And just one question, Councilman Hyman. So this is just for the initial inspection, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have any other scenarios where the winter season would come in effect? Something on, maybe just.
Yeah, there's a whole subsection.
What's that?
A roof or something like that could be an issue in the wintertime.
Okay.
Window replacement, there's a list in there, but it's not
It's
we put the clause like it's not fully comprehensive. That's what we could come up with. But we want to make sure we're not putting people in harm's way by enforcing this. We want to make sure that we're giving them proper time to fix those things. We wouldn't want people up in the roof in the winter or anything like that.
well, and you're also not going to find anybody to do that work in the winter. So
Okay, got it. That's all I had.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the amendment. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
okay, so I've got some questions. How long is this inspection good for?
2 years. Unless the house sells. And then, so if the house sells within that 24-month period, it's written in there that you have to have it re-inspected with a new owner.
So I read. Okay, so I read the sold or transferred. It just feels like, and maybe I missed it. It feels like we need to be clear that it's a 2-year inspection somewhere in here. I didn't read that, and that's why I asked the question.
I think, is it because occupancy permits, when we talked at our last discussion on the council table, are good for 2 years, and then it reverts to or changes to another type of inspection after that?
Well, yeah, because your COs are 2 years, correct, Jason? Correct. So I believe that's covered in another section of the 1767 ordinance, although it's not mentioned here.
Okay.
Yeah, this is only amending and adding in a different section. I believe it's mentioned in another section of 1767.
Okay. Next question.
Okay.
Every rental property in the city will have to go through this inspection,
That is
correct?
correct.
Okay. The next question I have, we are going to use inspection fees to fund this position, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the plan with hiring this position? I'll ask both of my questions and then you can figure out how you want to answer them. When are we going to hire this position, and what is the enactment date of this ordinance? Because right now it would be codified as soon as we passed it.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's accurate. So we'll be posting it after that, and when we have the appropriate person apply, they will be hired at that time. I don't know how long that's gonna take. I'm assuming it's gonna take 2 to 3 months.
Okay. Flipping to, I think, the third page of the ordinance under 1767.08, in the last paragraph of the B subsection, paragraph that starts with the checklist provided by the city. Okay, so what does this checklist look like? Are we using the checklist that they use for HUD?
No, so we have different requirements than HUD. We do have a checklist, but Jason and I will be updating that to make sure that we want to make, our goal is when we come to that inspection, that it's comprehensive and that there's nothing found at those 7 days for those people who are going to comply. I agree. If people don't comply within the 60 days, they're probably not going to comply within the 7. But I think a lot of landlords will make their best efforts. And if they do miss something, they'll have those 7 days to rectify that.
So I guess part of my concern is we have properties within the city that are HUD properties, right?
Yes.
That are, okay. So they're going to have 2 different checklists. I guess I'm curious what the difference between our checklist and the HUD checklist is going to be.
So I don't have those differences. What I do know is they're not going to contradict each other. But for instance, when we met with our roundtable that Councilmember Worth asked us to, a couple of the attendees said that one of the rules that HUD has is if they inspect and there's life safety issues, landlords have 24 hours to fix that. So we put that same rule in our bylaw.
Okay. Do we have our checklist ready?
No.
Okay.
We have a checklist, but we're still going to review it and add to it. Because one of the concerns that was brought up was, for instance, 2 methods of exit. Sometimes people assume that means doors, but that's not accurate. It can be a window, even on the 2nd floor with an attached ladder. It can be a porch, a 2nd floor porch. So Jason will be working on that after this.
All right. I would request that the checklist be submitted before second reading, and I'm not going to vote for it unless the checklist is there at second reading. Going down to G, violations considered to be life-threatening or serious health-threatening issues. I'm just curious, if somebody is removed from their home, what happens to them? Do we help them find somewhere to go? Like, do they immediately stop paying rent? Like, what safeguards are there for those people? And I know I'm not saying that they should stay there because this is an unsafe situation. I'm asking what happens to those people.
Well, we do have a social worker. They would try to help them find accommodations.
But I think
But again, it wouldn't be right off the bat. It's not something we would walk in and do right away unless it was so bad that we've had a couple of issues where there was sanitation filling up in the house.
Right.
We made sure that they were with family while that got rectified. So we're doing our best to make sure that they're not just put outside. And that's, again, a last resort. but there's certain circumstances where health and safety take precedent over everything else, especially when there's kids involved.
I think the biggest issue is that should be up to the landlord. Now, again, when they agree to it, when they go into a lease with the landlord, that landlord should put in the protections of that person, and the tenant should request those type of protections in case that were to happen. Because if they are providing an unsafe home, the landlord should, because they'll still they'll still ask for that money.
Oh, you're right,
And I might try to hold it into an escrow for certain things that
sure.
certain people will do, but it should be up to the landlord. And again, I think the ultimate goal is to get to somebody, if we get rid of the bad slumlords.
I agree with you, Mr. Vice Mayor, and the reason I'm asking these questions is we know that this ordinance is we're trying to clean up the fringes, correct? And so I think barring some kind of tragic or drastic incident, this isn't going to be something that just happens immediately. It's something that builds over time. So was just curious. I think that's all the questions I have.
I have a few more. Now, if they get the 60 days and then they get the 7 and they do not do it at that point, all we can do is offer citation. That's it.
Yes, unless it's a life safety issue, then what Councilmember Deans was referring to may come into effect.
So I want to, and maybe we get it done before the second reading, but I want to have it to where every 2 years for those that are not continuously violating this. But if they get 60 days to fix things and 7 and don't do it by then, I think they shouldn't get 2 more years. We should be going after the repeat offenders.
Like every year?
Yeah, like the people that are repeat offenders, they should be getting every year, because if they can't do it in 67 days, sorry, I had to do that. But so if we can't do it, and then they're going to keep being repeat offenders and just offering a bad home. I mean, this is what they're going to keep doing.
Yeah, and I would support language in the ordinance that says that, because I think you're right. If we're giving you a lot of runway to get this done, and you don't, then you probably need to be.
Chances are you're not going to do that.
We need to keep an eye.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's another way of, again, focusing on the repeat offenders and not those that are doing it right. I don't know if we can make that amendment now.
I'll have that.
I guess, point of inquiry, I guess do we have to have an amendment? Can we amend it on the second reading?
That's what I was going to ask.
I don't think we can.
We can.
No?
I think that's
Okay.
not a major amendment, so we can have that ready to read on the second reading, and council can vote on it at that
Yeah,
time.
and I think some of the things we're discussing are already in the statute anyway.
I didn't see that.
Well, I know, yeah, but you're not reading the whole chapter.
We're only reading part of it.
Yeah. So for example, it's in 1706, the renewal, and then it's an old 1709, that's a 2-year. So which I think 1709 goes 1711 now. Nonetheless, the 2 year thing, if you don't read the whole chapter, you don't see that.
So in that one, it says that it'd be 1 year for those that.
No, we would still have to amend that, but
Okay.
I'll bring that back for council to look at next meeting.
Okay. And I guess following up on that, in regards to the First Amendment that I made, I guess we would have to amend Section C. So I would like to offer that same amendment that I made. If you need me to read it again, I will, but it's basically the language that I have here, and I can pass that to the clerk when we're done, to amend Section C to include the same language, to include the 7 days, I guess, grace period, to use a generic term, I guess, but if needed, I can offer an amendment. If not,
Which section C? That I think they're.
renewal inspections.
Oh, okay.
It's basically the same language.
Right.
So I guess I will officially offer an amendment. I won't read it again, but it's essentially the same language to be put into Section C.
Okay.
If you'd like me to, I can read it again. Anybody who wants to read it, hear my voice. So I guess in Section C, Scratching the second sentence, if violations or deficiencies requiring correction are identified during the renewal inspection and compliance inspection fee, $150 shall be assessed. And it would read, if violations are found during the initial renewal inspection, the property owner shall have 24 hours to correct life safety violations and 7 days to correct standard violations outside of the winter seasons. For violations identified during the winter season, the property owner shall be granted a time period specified in 1767.10 to complete required repairs, after which $150 fine, compliance inspection fee rather, shall be levied against the property owner.
I'll second your amendment, Will.
Thank you, Wayne.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
So now back to the original motion?
Yep,
So
sorry.
one more thing.
Yes, sir.
So for seasonal repairs, so the winter season is defined from November 1st through
March 20th?
February 28th.
Yeah.
Is there, I mean, it snowed the other day, but I mean, it just depends, I think, on what your issue's going to be to fix. I don't know if we want to extend that a little bit longer to mid-March or.
I think it's already in there. It says extension can be granted by code enforcement based on nature and scope.
Okay.
I mean, also, I'd like to have that part of the checklist too, like the reasons to be extended.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I'd like to keep it straight down the line.
Councilman Howe, one of the things I decided to wait to maybe talk about in the second read, but we could do now. I thought the same thing, and I thought proposing the winter season through March 30th.
31st, end of the month.
Oh, I can never remember that poem when it has 30 or 31 days.
30 days past September. April,
All right.
June, and November.
I teach music.
Let's put that in the ordinance.
There we go. All right. So March 31st.
Okay.
Okay, the original motion. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Councilmember Dean,
Yes.
Councilmember Howe, Councilmember Hyman,
No.
Councilmember Jackson,
Yes.
Councilmember Ward,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ripple,
Yes.
Mayor Malcolm.
Yes.
Consideration of a fair housing resolution.
I move to approve the fair housing resolution.
Second.
Discussion on that. This had a couple of questions on section 3 and section 4, and maybe this has always been like this. We pass this every year. It does state here in section 3 that the city of Clarksburg shall direct all employees to forward immediately to the office of the mayor any reports they receive of housing discrimination. Section 4 states the office of the mayor shall forward such complaints to the West Virginia Human Rights Commission within 10 days of receiving the complaint. I mean, we're a city manager form of government. Has that, when we pass this resolution every year, has it always been like that?
It has always been like that. A lot of these will come through the housing authority because we do have the
Okay.
housing authority.
That's good. I
So a
was just
lot of
making
those
sure.
complaints, rather than being made directly to the mayor, they go to the housing
Good
authority.
housing authority. Yeah, I just didn't want to put Mayor Malpajoe,
Yeah.
yielding complaints and being the mandated reporter, so.
Thank you, sir.
Should we change that
All
language
right,
then?
that's all I have.
That language should be changed then.
I would-
I mean, if it's not right, if we're not doing it, we shouldn't have it in there.
But someone can do it.
They have the option to do
They
that.
have the
to come
option
to the mayor. If I could, yeah.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration of a resolution of the city of Clarksburg authorizing the selection of the Thrasher Group to provide engineering and professional services for the Clarksburg City Park Splash Pad project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, sir.
Can we get an update on the funding request that was sent to City of Nutter Fort and the County Commission?
The county commission, when I talked to Laura, It was supposed to be on the agenda, but their agenda was very full, and she said it would be on in the future, and Nutter Fort has asked for more information. We have a package put together for them. I don't know, Annette, did you send that on to them? The
Whatever.
same one that, okay, so it's been sent to them.
Do we have the funds in place for the matching funds?
Yes, we do.
And then just have a question on the actual resolution itself. In the fourth whereas, on November 18th, 2025, the city issued a request for proposals seeking qualified firms to provide design, bidding, and assistance in construction oversight services. And then, and maybe these dates make sense, just not making sense to me. But then on the sixth whereas, that request for proposals was advertised as a Class 2.0 legal ad in the Clarksburg Exponent on December 30th, 2025 and January 6th. So did we advertise after we issued a request for proposals, or is that just a mistype on dates? I don't know how that would have worked.
Jason?
That's just a typo in the dates. The request was sent in through the city clerk. I believe she sent this one, not Mrs. Jericho's. I think that's just a typo in the date.
Do we have the correct dates?
It's included in the back there of what it was sent out.
Actually, this was advertised a second time.
Yes,
If you
there was
recall.
two different advertisements on this, and that's where the confusion came in.
Oh, that's right, there was an error in the first one, so we removed it and we re-advertised it, so no, the dates are accurate.
Okay. How many firms, engineering and architectural firms, submitted proposals?
4.
4? We were not provided a list of those 4, correct?
No.
And we were not provided a list of the rankings, correct?
No.
Is there a reason why we were not?
I've been working with Mr. Avis from the state, and he told, when I spoke to him, he said this is just what needs to come to council for the proposal. I can have Jason email those out because that whole package has been sent over to him at the state as well.
Just to clarify, Mr. Avis doesn't run the city, and we have our own procurement and architectural engineering services. I'd just like to make sure we're following that and not circumventing that just because somebody at the state says we don't have to. It's in our code.
Oh, I assure you, Mr. Avis isn't letting anybody circumvent anything.
Okay. Well, if that's
But
the
we will
case,
send that out.
because it does say that we should have them.
Any other discussion?
Yes. And then in section 2, authorized to negotiate and execute agreement. City manager is hereby authorized to negotiate and execute an agreement with Thrasher Group for the division of engineering and provisional services for the splash pad project. Again, this one by codified ordinance 109.07. Again, that's our code, not the state's, so Mr. Avis might not be aware of it. But this one is, we are only authorized right now to authorize the city manager to negotiate a contract, and then council needs to approve such contract when it's brought back to us. Otherwise, we have no clue what we're going to pay for a contract, and we're going to openly authorize something that we're not protecting the citizens and we're not doing our due diligence. So we need to have a proper contract in front of us to actually authorize it to be signed after the negotiations is complete, per the code.
Okay, so we can remove the execute word and say negotiate an agreement.
Say that again, Tiffany, please.
Section 2,
Yeah,
if we take out the word execute,
yeah.
I can negotiate agreement and bring it to council to vote on.
Authorization to negotiate agreement.
Mhm.
I guess I'll move to amend it. Section 2, authorization to negotiate and execute. Remove that from the first line there, execute, and the city manager is hereby authorized to negotiate an agreement with the Thrasher Group. Perhaps add after we see it on council. I'm okay with that.
I'll second your amendment.
And everything, I know.
Did you make an amendment?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
Seconded by
you.
Mr. Ward.
Yeah. We have an amendment, we have a second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Yes.
All opposed? Motion carries.
And then one more discussion. So, well, just not a discussion, it's just a statement. So again, I'll just reiterate, probably only have one more opportunity after this meeting, but I'm going to vote no regarding the resolution on the agenda, just based upon, I voted no to the area and the site selection that was done. So just to make a record, I'm voting no for that reason.
Thank you, Mr. Howe. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Councilmember Deems?
Yes.
Councilmember Howe?
No.
Councilmember Hyman?
Yes.
Councilmember Jackson?
Yes.
Councilmember Worth?
No.
Vice Mayor Riffle?
Yes.
Mayor Malpaquet?
Yes.
Consideration of award of bid for asbestos abatement and demolition of structures located at 101 Grant Street, 140 Howard Street, 144 Howard Street, 205 Quincy Street, 207 Harrison Street, and 212 West Woodland Avenue being contract number 1.
I'll move the award contract 1 to Reclaim Company LLC of Fairmont, West Virginia in the amount of $76,450.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Yes. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Discussion. What funds are these coming out of?
These are the DLAP funds, so we had some left and they're letting us attempt to use them up by the deadline, which is June 30th. Also, which contract are we adding the house in North Fire burnt structures in Northview to? Was it contract 1?
I'm unsure of how that's gonna be. We're gonna let both successful contractors bid on that.
Okay.
How much is left in that DLAP fund?
Currently goes right around 140,000. Though after this comes out, we'll have enough to do an addendum for 6 more. He needs those submitted by May 15th and a contract done. So I'm gonna rush to try to get a 4th contract done between now and May 15th.
But we only have 140 in the DLAP now?
What's left? Then
No.
this 76 will be, 76 will be subtracted. So then there'll be enough left over for basically 5.4 houses at my estimate. So I'm gonna submit 6.
So is item G and H, are they coming out of the DLAP? Or
They are not DLAP.
they're not, what are they out of?
Those are out of the general fund from the budget year.
Any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration award of bid for asbestos abatement and demolition of structures located at 131 North First Street, 139 Liberty Avenue, 208 Bird Lane, 209 Bird Lane, 212 Bird Lane, 222 North 6th Street, 299 Monticello Avenue, 301 Clark Street, 351 South 23rd Street, and 1603 West Pike Street being contract number 2.
Mr. Mayor, I move to award contract 2 to Reclaim Company LLC of Fairmont in the amount of $153,065 from the general fund.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Discussion.
Discussion.
I noticed that it says 299 Monticello Avenue is on contract 2. Would that not make more sense on contract 1?
We kept the grant ones together in one contract, so all 6 on contract 1 are included in the grant. That way the paperwork submission only goes one time.
Okay, so but same Okay, could be same contractor, could be.
Could
Well,
be.
it is. Yeah, reclaim both.
Okay, oh, that's right, reclaim, okay. All right, that's all I have.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Consideration award a bid for asbestos abatement and demolition of structures located at 326 Jarvis Street, 326 South 2nd Street, 350 Hickman Street, 418 Horner Avenue, 451 Horner Avenue, 461 Lee Avenue, 503 High Street, 508 Horner Avenue, 532 South 7th Street, and 655 and a half Mulberry Avenue, being contract number 3.
Mr. Mayor, I move to award contract 3 to Safeco of Dilliner, PA, in the amount of $148,700 from the general fund.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Deviate for council comments.
Yes. Council comments. Mr. Deans.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I have a question for the city manager. How do we decide what properties are put up for demolition, in what order?
So, previous to Jason, the employee that was here would give me a list, and I couldn't particularly see any rhyme or reason. This time, we did it by age and neighborhood. So we're not, my hope is if they're all close together, that would reflect in the price. I have no way to quantify that. But to me, it makes a bigger impact if we do a cluster in a neighborhood. All the equipment's there, the homes are there. So we're working towards, we also have the CBDG grant coming up. So we're looking at Broad Oaks, the Monticello area, Northview, Glen Elk, and the neighborhoods surrounding downtown is the 4 neighborhoods that we are looking at first. And that's what this will reflect when all these come forward.
Okay. Yeah, because I see some properties in Northview that I know have been vacant and condemned for a while, and was just curious about.
Yeah, I think the Northview particularly is in the CBDG grant. So we took everything from 2 years, anything that's been on the list that's 2 years or older, and all of that's going on to that grant application.
Okay. Because I think there are some properties there that would be good for the land bank if they make it there for redevelopment. Thank you. Could we also have a report from our social worker? I think those were supposed to be happening quarterly, correct?
Yes. So it'll be 2 separate reports. So we have our social worker, and then we actually have our 2 peers, and the reports are going to look different, but those will be sent out to council.
Expected date?
This week, like coming up.
Next week.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
I was going to say tomorrow's Friday. I mean, okay, cool. Also, can we have a update on the camping ordinance, on the reports of that being used? I wasn't able to find that email. I didn't have time. I know we sent it out, or you sent it out a few months ago, and so I'd just like to know
So
if
are
that's
you
being
looking
used.
for that information, where the camps, where the people, like how many people we identified and
Yeah,
help? Okay.
what that, and I mean, when we approach these people, I would say that we're probably invoking the camping ordinance, right? We're saying you're in
Well,
violation of this.
So it's redundant information because the social worker goes out to all those camps, so all that information will already be included in her report.
You can send them both. We'll figure it out. And I'll look. I'll look through my email. I honestly, I know you sent it because I asked about it. I was thinking it probably happened in the fall, so it's been a little bit. If we can also maybe get those quarterly as well. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. Great to see the swim team here. The weather's getting better, hopefully. I mean, well, it was 80 degrees last weekend, and then 5 inches of snow on Tuesday. So maybe we're not out of the woods yet, but I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Jackson.
I would just like to thank everyone for coming out this evening and everyone who tuned in. I would also like to thank the Eagles, or congratulate the Eagles on their win. You know, that's always a big win. You know, you get out in the States and bring back that hardware. So, you know, congratulations to those young men and women. You know, I'm very thankful that you know, we're moving forward with the rental ordinance. And I would also like to remind folks that, you know, this isn't an attack on landlords by any means, but this is a means to start to upgrade the standards by which the people in our city live. And this isn't just for landlords. Basically, this is for property owners as well. You know, I expect to see our code enforcement office start to make sure that just our basic property owners are adhering to these same rules and that they're keeping their properties up as well, because this is what it's all about. You know, if we're going to clean up Clarksburg, we have to have a standard by which we're going to live. You know, a lot of people say, well, it's not fair what's not fair? You know, if you keep your property clean, then you want to make sure that the house next to you is keeping their property clean. But if they're not keeping their property clean, the one thing that I've noticed over the years is that, you know, people tend to say, well, you know what, they're not doing all that much with their property. I'm not even going to worry about mine that much. You know, how about we start to boost this up? Let's lift this thing up and let's keep our properties clean and let's keep moving on. Keep in mind also that the cleanup week has started, and this is a great opportunity to unload the things that may be sitting around your property, in your house, things that you need to unload. So, you know, take advantage of this free opportunity to get rid of those things. So thank you all very much once again.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Ripple.
Yeah, I want to congratulate the swim team. It's an amazing accomplishment, a lot of hard work. I know when the issues with the Y came about, the coach Kroll, he messaged me right away, and they were worried about where they were going to practice, where their team was going to be. Like, the players were worried. The seniors, especially the seniors, they've been working all these years, and now their season was in limbo. So, you know, I want to thank the staff and everybody for jumping right on that. I want to thank Parks. I want to thank the city manager, everybody's staff here, Public Works. Everybody jumped in, and even though we played a small role, but that's what it takes. I was in Charleston last night for the state basketball tournament, and unfortunately we lost. We lost to Chapmanville Regional, which sounds like a prison, which just, I don't know why they're called Chapmanville Regional. Just a horrible name. But it also made me just wonder, it's like almost every city down, every school down there, you knew it because of their city name. RCB should be Clarksburg High School. I'll say it forever. I'll start that fight with anybody who wants to have that fight. It speaks so much pride. We don't have that pride that other schools have. We all move together, whether they like to or not. Why not be one city, one school? Everybody, the community jumps in. We're all supporting that one team. And you see Clarksburg on the jersey. They wear it proud. They swim. They play baseball. Whatever it is, they have that Clarksburg on their jersey. That's how you get a community behind a school. That's how you get, you just get pride in your city, and it's just great marketing. I'll have that fight. I think everybody up here on council should have that fight with me. Join in on that fight. We got to have pride in our city, and why not have it with our sports team so we can cheer for Clarksburg? Essentially what we're doing anyways. Clarksburg High School, Clarksburg Middle School. Just makes sense to me. So, unfortunately, we lost basketball last night, but it was a good game. So, a lot of seniors on that team, so it's going to be trouble next year. But still, it was a good game. In the landlord ordinance, it's just the rental housing ordinance. It's not going after anybody in particular. It's going after the ones that aren't doing it right. That's the goal. I don't think it should be, penalizing the people who are doing it right We have a slumlord issue in this city. If you don't know it, you're not paying attention, and it's one of the biggest issues that we have. I think I've been on council for almost 4 or 5 years now, and at this point, I would say I failed on something that I promised everybody when I first was running, was fixing the slumlord issue. This is the biggest step we've made, and unfortunately, it took way too long. I take responsibility in that, but I'm glad we're making that step. I think we have a great director in place. Mr. Lane has been over top of code. We have Steve. We have the staff in here to make this happen. So let's just clean up our city, and we'll just hopefully this ordinance happens. If this doesn't help it, we got to stay at it. We have to fix it. We have to figure out a way to fix that. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Coach Riffle. Mr. Hyman?
Thanks, Mayor. We discussed the rental ordinance, I guess is what I'll call it, rental housing registration program, fairly decently. I think a couple, 2 months ago now. I think I moved to table it. I appreciate the effort to get local landlords and sit down at a round table. Unfortunately, I had no idea that it happened, but I'm glad it did. And people got to come and voice their opinions on it. I like I said, I moved to table it back then, I believe, if I remember correctly. I'm not going to sit here and debate that, why I didn't do this and why I didn't do that. But, in regards to the vice mayor's comment, if the goal is to go after slumlords, then go after the slumlords. Just go after them. Unleash the code on them. Because it seems like the people who reach out to me are all compliant and they all do what they need to do. So I'll leave it at that because I got the last word on that, Jerry. So, but other than that, if you walk your dog, pick up your dog mess, and pray for peace, people, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hyman. Mr. Worth?
Yes, I want to congratulate the RCB swim team. That's amazing. I was telling Councilman Hyman during the presentation that being a child of the mountains from Pocahontas County, I went to Pocahontas County High School, and when we would bring home a regional championship trophy, just a regional, we would talk about it for about 10 years. So to see a state champion, that's just amazing. That just gave me goosebumps seeing that. So that's really good. And a little upset, that our boys basketball team lost in the States. And to answer Vice Mayor Riffle's question about Chapmanville Regional High School, it was formed because when Lincoln County consolidated their 4 high schools, Harts High School, which is in Lincoln County, was then consolidated with Chapmanville High School, which was in Logan County. So they called it regional. And everybody up and anyone else that was dotted on Crawley Creek there between the Logan Lincoln County line, they participated in the high school. So that's why it's regional.
Well, somebody right behind me broke it down for me, and they're talking about 45 minutes. I was like, man, I wish I didn't say it out loud.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyhow, to answer your question, but anyway, I just had this question is for the city manager. Can we update our agenda center on the website? I don't see any agendas on there posted in 2026.
From council?
Yes.
I just pulled it on and printed it today.
I mean, on the agendas on the city's website.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't find it there for the life of me.
Are you still going to the old one?
It might be the old one.
Because
Yeah,
the old one's was actually shut down yesterday.
Oh,
The new
okay.
one's up. So now when you go there, it'll just be the new one because
Okay.
that's where everything was being posted. So I'm guessing that's what it was.
Because I tried to find old agendas today from this year, and I couldn't find it. I found some from December of 25.
Yeah, I printed out ours for today, so I'm thinking the internet was directing you to the old website.
Okay. And then my other question is the city budget going to be is it going to be posted on our website too?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's all I have then. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Historian Worth.
You're welcome.
Mr. Hack?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So I believe majority of the council probably received an email, I think contacted by an individual over in Northview or in George Street.
Yes.
All right, so.
And I've already asked some
Okay,
questions.
all right, good. I want to bring it up then, so I appreciate it. So then, Tiffany, did you ever get a chance to look up the question I had at the last meeting, beginning of March, about the Monty Mark property?
Yes.
Who owns it?
Technically, I believe it's the LRA.
Yes, the LRA still holds title to it.
Okay, so LRA does own it. Okay, is there agreement in place?
Yes.
When is that going to be executed?
I actually texted with her this week, so we're supposed to have a meeting about it next week. It looks like, based on the schedule, it would be September when construction would begin. But again, I want to confirm with her.
So they plan on not taking possession until August or September?
Yes.
The only other thing I have is just reiterate about RCB. I think it's always great to nice opportunity to recognize our youth in the community. When they do something special. So encourage more of that, and hopefully more youth are doing things that we can recognize them for, not only sports but everything else that they're involved with throughout the community. And other than that, thanks for coming out. We appreciate you being shown that your interest tonight. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. See something, say something, folks. Pick up the phone and dial 911, please. I concur with everything that was said here amongst my fellow council members. And
Discussion regarding legal matters?
Pursuant to Chapter 6, Article 9A, Section 4 of the West Virginia Code, I move that council adjourn into executive session to discuss current and pending litigation, and that the following persons be present: mayor and members of council, city manager, city attorney, and city clerk.
Second.
a motion and second. Okay.
Aye.
adjourn from executive session into regular session.
Second. Have a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Move to adjourn.
Second. We're out of here.